morning, everyone, and welcome to Natique in Oak Grove, California, and NatiqueYarns.com, coming to you live on Thursday. Sorry I'm a minute late. I had to go chase down the windshield repair guy who's replacing my windshield in the parking lot as we speak. I do love the convenience of having them come to you.
Mobile service is awesome.
Even if they did, come like right at 10 o'clock. I'm like,
well,
really? It's any repair service, whatever the window is, it's always the most inconvenient part of that window that they actually show up. You're like, really?
At least he came. That's
Yes.
exciting.
So I happily will have a new windshield before that crack runs, because as it gets colder, those like to just take off.
Yeah, I watched the one in my car go bzzz, right across the window. I'm like, ooh, that was exciting.
Yeah, I had never quite gotten to watch it move like that, but when I had my Scion one of the times that it got cracked, it's like I left my house in the morning and it was this long, and then I got in my car after work and it was this long.
It's very exciting because you can hear
it. I
it.
got in my car the next morning and it was all the way across the windshield.
It goes crackle, crackle, crackle.
Oh, really? I did learn why they don't just, like, why you can't feel the glass.
Yeah, why?
On the inside, it's 2 layers.
Oh,
of
well,
glass.
I knew that, but
so that's why, because it's only cracked the top layer. That's
yeah.
why the windshield doesn't collapse on you and all that fun stuff. So you have to smash it pretty good to actually have it cause structural problems. In this case, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
Good morning. Yes, me too. Nothing like a rock scaring the bejeebies out of you first thing in the morning on your way to work.
You're awake.
Awake that day. Okay, so for our grand prize, we have this gorgeous Evening Glow poncho set. Evening Glow is a poncho that is done with Fibonacci stripe sequences, which are just stripes that are different widths. They change by 1 row per stripe. Very easy peasy. And on this one, we have paired it with one of Alexandra's small fry kits, so you get one scrumptiously soft skein of Black Butte, which is a yak blend. This is actually the undyed color. It's just naturally this gorgeous. And then we have the little bundle of all the fabulous minis in the rainbow colors. So you can do one of your colors in the poncho will be the gray and the other color will be your rainbow, and you can stripe them however makes you happy.
I forgot my fan.
Oh. I'm like, and how you get entered into the grand prize drawing is every time you make a purchase from the 1st through the 15th of October, you're going to get 1 entry. It is cumulative, so if you purchase 5 times, you get 5 entries. If you purchase 10 times, you get 10 entries. It includes purchases made here in person in the boutique, online at NatiqueYarns.com, and even over the phone with us. So anytime you check out, that counts. Right, Kate? It's going to be so pretty. And I have multiples of those kits in my stash, so that may have to be what one of them becomes.
I think I have it was a different set, but I have 2 of those. I could still do this with one of them. It's crazy what we end up with in our stash sometimes.
It's not crazy, it's fabulous.
I forgot I bought one, so I bought another one.
It happens.
Yeah.
I have a crochet book that I have 3 copies of.
That's awesome. Hope you like 3 patterns.
No, I don't have 3 copies of it anymore because when I did the whole home edit thing, I did get rid of the extras. I only kept the autographed copy. But I did discover I had 3 of it. I'm like,
wow.
I guess I really like this book. Have I made anything out of it? No.
No.
But I really like that book. Okay, for our daily prize, which is the one we'll give away today, we have the Glacier Cowl, which is a really fun pattern that's just stripes of stockinette and mesh lace with, I think it starts and ends with like a seed stitch border, if I remember correctly. Yes. So seed stitch border, really good for variegateds because it breaks up the pooling a little bit with the different stitch patterns. we've paired it with a skein of, its tag is missing, but I'm 99% sure this was one of the Classic Elite yarns from back in the day. We get stash donations, and this was one of them. So this is, I know it's either 300 or 400 yards, plenty of yarn to do any of the 3 sizes on the pattern. You just probably won't do 10 inches on the small. You might only get 8.
Just make sure you hand wash it just to be safe.
Because I feel like it's an alpaca blend.
Yeah.
Anytime you're not sure what your yarn is, just hand wash it.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
Better safe than felted.
yeah, bad things don't happen when you hand wash. They do when you machine wash, and it was not a machine washable yarn. That's when it goes very, very badly. So how you get entered into our daily prize drawing is every time you interact with our video, you get entries. If you react with any of these wonderful bubbles down here, you get 1 entry per click. If you comment on the video, you get 5 entries per comment. And if you share the video with the swoosh arrow in the corner to your stories, to your friends, send it in Messenger to a friend, whatever you do, come back and comment shared to and where. And that will get you 11 entries per share. Then we'll come over to our handy dandy comment picker and see who's today's winner. This is based off of yesterday's video. That was fast.
Sandra Yee, we know you're local, so you get to come visit us in the boutique and tell us you have a prize, or remind us, and we will get it out of the cabinet for you. And if you decide not to come visit, next time you make a purchase, just tell us in the notes you have a prize, and we will include it in your shipment. We still have some caramels. I'll tell you, the originals sold like crazy yesterday. I don't know why. Everybody wanted original flavor.
Everybody's feeling classic.
I know, so it's getting low. So if you love the original, get them quick. Ooh, it's not too late to get your resin pumpkins for spooky season. We have little ones and big ones. And some face stickers for the littles. Well, heck, even for yourself, you could wear them anyway. Especially if workplaces have costume stuff. Wouldn't that be fun?
Okay.
What is next?
I think I'm situated here for the scrumptious yarn that we reordered, because after talking about it as one of the previous grand prizes, you guys cleaned us out on a lot of colors, so we had to bring it back. So we have the wonderful Moonshine Fine, which is a baby alpaca, organic silk, Highland wool, and recycled nylon blend. You can really see the silk in there because it gives a really pretty shine to the color. But it is so soft because of the alpaca, and it is actually, because of the nylon and wool, it is actually a machine wash lay flat to dry sport weight yarn. 437 yards. So it's a sport weight yarn that has the yardage of a fingering weight yarn, which is fantastic.
Awesome.
So this gorgeous color here is the cherry red. It is color 1006.
Cherry red or
Thank
tomato
you, Darla.
red?
It's a little more blue red to me than a tomato red, because tomatoes are usually a little bit orangey.
Okay.
But on the monitor it looks more orangey than it really is.
If you like red, get it because it's awesome.
It's a red. Like, it's a red that nobody goes, that's not red, that's burnt orange, or there's no
red.
twist on this one. It's just red. Then if you like a really pretty soft pink, this is color 1007. It is a slightly blue-gray pink, like a really rich rose. Then for the neutrals, we have a gorgeous undyed natural cream. This is 1003.
I see a 3-color project for Valentine's Day.
Right?
Start now.
Well, if I add the other neutral that I have,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a 4-color project for Valentine's Day. Or just because you like red and pink and white. And this one, 1002, which is like a silver gray with just the slightest tint of like a powder blue to it.
You can see it good on this part.
Yeah.
The other part has the nice sheen on it from the lights.
And this yarn, with its fabulous yardage and beautiful colors and machine washability, makes great projects for gift knitting. So you could do a small project like the Kindreth hat, which is this really pretty beanie with 2 different styles
Whoa.
of cables.
That's pretty.
And then this little slip stitch column in between them. I love when they show a picture of the top of the hat so you can see that the pattern, like, look at the cables get smaller and smaller so they kind of look like icicles. I'd still stick a palm on it, but I love seeing that they made the pattern continuous all the way up. They didn't just stop it with like a crisp line. That always drives me crazy.
Look, she's wearing matching mitts.
It is a folded brim, so you could unfold it and make it more slouchy if you want. Yes, it does appear that there is a matching mitten pattern if you live somewhere cold enough to have mittens. It takes about half a skein to make this one, so you could probably make the hat and mittens if you want, or the hat and a cowl, 2 hats, whatever makes you a happy knitter. And Alicia Plummer of Two Little Plums has amazing patterns, so this is a great one if you're wanting to do something with cables for the first time, because you know the pattern is going to be well written. Then we have the Belmina by Melanie Rice. This is a really fun bandana style cowl, which we're a little obsessed with around here because they're lightweight on the back of your neck. And then they have all of this pretty business in the front. Come on, drag it over. There we go. So it has, I like this one. It has the appearance of a knitted on lace border, but it's really just one where you're working it as you work your rows of garter stitch. There's no going back and adding it at the end. So very easy. You could actually keep going on this one and make it a shawl if you wanted. It takes 220 to 300 yards depending on which of the 2 sizes of the cowl that you're making, but very fun and fast. Let me drop the links in for you guys real quick.
Another nice look at these colors. We've got lots of people that like this set. And whoever said it wasn't in their wheelhouse but they like it, I'm right there with you because it's very, very pretty.
Okay, there we go. Oh, hold on, one more, because speaking of more than one color projects.
Yeah, here we go.
Here is Druckenfels by Melanie Berg. This is like a been around for a while pattern that is just really fun playing with striping. You've got 3 colors that you're just doing 2-row garter stitch stripes. Then you do a block of color and then this little slip stitch mosaic detail. And then I think it's an I-cord bind off. It sure looks like it in that picture.
This has been on my to-do list for a long time.
It's such a fun one.
Oh, look, you see that little
Blip
little
of the
accent
pink?
line
Yeah.
there? Yeah, that's cute.
So just really fun, kind of therapy knit with these occasional moments of like you've got a slip stitch or you throw in the other color. So these little occasional moments to keep you engaged when you start to get that point of, okay, I've had enough therapy. Where's the excitement? Okay. I couldn't help it. It clicked over to that one when I was closing out the others.
You could even get some raspberry caramels to go with your beautiful red yarn.
Then if you are more of a purple person, like Susan,
Purple!
we have color 1008. It is a really pretty true violet, like crayon box purple.
How do I not own that color already?
I don't know.
Maybe it sold fast and this is from the restock.
Yeah.
Because I don't, it must have gone quick.
You might not have gotten the chance to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized I didn't grab 3 colors with this yarn. Hold on.
Uh-oh. She's going on a
Continue.
field trip. Pretty colors.
I'm like, I knew something felt wrong, you know, like I'm missing something. I'm missing 3 somethings. Then we have color 1015. That's kind of it's kind of halfway in between cornflower and periwinkle because it's got a little bit of that purpley tint to it, but it's still very blue.
I have to put this with it because
you do.
There's your 3 colors.
So you could do a druckenfels with that.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's more.
Ooh.
You
Okay.
could put some aqua in there with the fabulous 1010, which is a really rich, bright, tropical turquoise aqua.
I might like that better than the white. Gives it a nice pop with that teal in that little section.
Then, last but not least, for the blues, we have 1009, which is like a soft cobalt blue. You could pick 3 blues. You could transition one out into a neutral with the grays.
Very, very pretty.
All right. Then if you're a crazy sweater lady like me, this cute little short sleeve cardigan would be perfect. This is Rosanna. It has this really pretty like butterfly lace detail down the front. But otherwise just a nice simple top down cardigan. I like
how
that
cute.
she put the little butterflies on the back in between, like there's your raglan shaping line right there. So just enough detail to keep it interesting, but simple enough that this could easily be a first sweater if you've never done a sweater with all the shaping.
You could put those butterflies around the waist.
That'd be cute too.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Like a little belt.
Yeah.
Then it also is amazing in that it has a size range from a 33 to a 60 and takes 2 to 4 skeins of yarn for any of the sizes. That is not bad. I really like that one. May need to go on Anna's to knit list.
I like that it already has short sleeves. You don't have to think about
Right?
it.
Like, already modified. But if you live somewhere cold, it's easy to do longer sleeves too. You just keep going.
Yeah.
Then another really cute hat. This is by Melanie Berg. This is the calligraphy hat.
That's cute. Okay,
Little slip stitch detail. Like this has that same little tuck stitch detail as like the rainbow trout hat for any of you who have knit that one. But she has these little pearl sections in between, so it gives it a totally different texture.
That was funny. We both moved in like, how'd they do that?
Right?
Oh, how
There's
cute.
matching
Fingerless mitts.
gloves if you want to do fingerless gloves as well. Both have the twisted ribbing for the brim. If you're not a twisted ribbing person, just do regular knit one, purl one. Just make sure you drop your needle size down like 2 sizes from what you're gonna knit the rest of the hat.
Hadn't thought of that.
I actually do that on the twisted rib too. I usually drop it down one.
Wow.
Because I've noticed that the twisted rib is very like 3-dimensional, like it pops
Yeah.
out at you, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't want it to pop out at me. Then a really fun cowl from Marie Green. This is the Creel Stitch Cowl. This is a stitch that she's actually done a couple projects out of as like a good one to learn a new stitch, but it has like a brioche-esque look to it, but a little different, because normally these little like lifted up looking lines here would just be right next to each other. There wouldn't be this turquoise column in between. So I have to try this one just to see what the heck a creel stitch is, because I'm like, it looks like brioche but not. So that needs to go on Anna's to play with list. But a very fun one. 1 skein each of 2 colors. You can easily make a couple cowls because it only takes 290 yards total. Oh, enjoy, Nancy. That sounds fabulous. As soon as they figure out this whole teleportation thing, I'll join you on a regular basis.
We'd be right there.
Right. For our neutral people, we have a wonderful charcoal gray 1001. It's a very deep, rich, cool gray, like on the blue leaning versus on the brown leaning of a gray. Because they all lean one way or another.
I think I need a color theory class.
Those are actually really fun.
Oh boy. Feels like math to me. I'm a little scared.
No, it's not. It's nothing like math, actually. Then we have color 1004, which is a softer, warm gray, kind of in that pewter category. We can make a neutral druckenfels if we add this one. This is color 1011. It's like a pearl. I mean, quite literally.
Yeah, put the other one.
The color of a pearl.
I thought you were picking up the same thing twice, and I'm like, oh no, we're not. So they are different.
Kind of see like a peachy creamness to 1011, whereas 1003 is more of a warm, kind of almost on that yellow side of cream.
Ivory.
Yeah.
Such a pretty neutral set. Ooh, there you go.
That one kind of throws her off.
Can't get them all, and that's there we go.
So you could do a whole, like you could basically do a skew, but as a scarf.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good idea. Does it work over there?
Of course it does.
Yeah.
And
Works
you
everywhere.
could mix them up. You wouldn't necessarily have to do them in like an ombre order. You could do like that. That'd be really fun.
I'm just putting combinations together in my head for that shawl.
Right? If you want a wonderful 1 skein project out of this yarn, we did our twist and turns pattern out of 1 skein. Really pretty cable design where you have 2 different styles of cables. One is a 2x2 cable and one is a twist, which is one where you don't actually have to use a cable needle. That's these little skinny ones right here that look like a tiny braid.
How fun would this be as a stole? You know, a rectangle?
Oh yeah, you could cast on. I actually think our pattern has numbers for a wider one. But it'd be really easy to make it super wide. All that is a little basic math.
I'm trying not to shudder. I would disturb the camera.
But this is 1 skein. This is the smaller size on the scarf pattern. I did just link it for you guys. It's one of ours on Ravelry. But I would say if you get a skein of Moonshine Fine today and put scarf pattern in the notes, I'll throw a paper copy in there for you guys.
Yay.
Gently, I won't actually.
Yeah.
I love this one. Alright, I have to move these over because there's more colors. Actually, I should show you guys more amazingness first, probably. No, I'll do those first. Decisions.
Yeah.
We have a gorgeous kind of olive gold 1005. Here, I'll move the blues up so that we can bring that puppy in there. And you can tell it's a little more gold as soon as you put it against a green. Like here's 1014, which is more of like an avocado green. Or like split pea soup. Then we have 1013, which is a deliciously soft caramel.
Yep,
It's
perfect.
caramel. Can't be helped. I clearly like food. It
Yeah,
can't be helped. I mean, look at this would make a gorgeous druckenfels.
it would.
Like this could be where the red was, and then these are your two that you transition, like start with the gold and then you switch to this one. That would be really pretty. I mean, there's really no wrong.
Too many pretty choices.
Okay, let me drop this last link in here, and then I am in love with this one. I know of at least one person, and like I know someone who knit this one, and it is so pretty. It looks like plaid.
Wow. How fun is that?
It uses 4 colors. So they've got a light gray, a dark gray, a blue, and a gold.
Is it slip stitches?
That is a
Fair,
good
slip
question.
stitch Fair
Yes.
Isle-ish?
Yes,
Okay.
it's slip stitches. So that means you're only using 1 color per row. You're not having to carry 2 at a time. So very easy color work. It's really the easiest color work you can do. So you're doing like knit 3, slip 3, knit 3, slip 3, knit 3, slip 3, all the way across.
Now that I've figured out how to make my floats loose,
Now you're all about that
I
slip
kind
stitch.
of like it. It's in that 22 cowl, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I made it work this time.
Yay!
Yeah.
So this one, nice big shawl. It is 70-inch length by 34-inch height. I love his little artwork with the
cute.
animals knitting the shawl. And you need 1 skein each of 3 of the colors and 2 of color B, which is essentially your main color. Like that's the light gray that you see in the sample. But I love this one.
I've seen that one on Ravelry, but I've never looked really closely at it. That's very pretty.
That is Opus by Maxim Sear. He has a lot of really
Oh yeah.
crisp, clean, pretty designs. I've gone down the
Ooh,
Maxim
oh.
Sear rabbit hole before. Like, I want to do this one next. This is Dodge, which is a really fun shawl with this beautiful, like, feather lace border. It looks a lot like the lace pattern we used on our Paon cowl. But it's got this really pretty, like, slip stitch rib pattern for the body of the shawl. There we go. I'm like, I want there to be a picture of it all spread out.
Pretty.
There we go. So you've got kind of this woven looking texture for the top, then that gorgeous lace, a little garter stitch, bind off. 2 skeins, And she even has a little coupon code to take 30% off the pattern if you get it before the 10th. One last one, this High Point Cowl by Casey Herlihy. I really like the stitch pattern on this one, that you've got like your fancy chevron row and then just stockinette. And you can see that it's reversed. Like this is the purl side of the stitches here, and then this is the knit. So you're getting the texture of purl and knit and the movement of the chevron pattern. Are you trying to figure it out?
Yeah, because this is a decrease line, like a center double decrease, but where is it in this section? Did they just...
Well, it's so like this yarn over pairs with this decrease
Right.
right here.
Oh.
And then this yarn over pairs with this decrease right here.
I feel like a lace knitting dork. Well, that's hilarious.
I know, it's sneaky.
That's hilarious.
It makes it look like there's nothing shaping
Yeah.
this part.
Because this row and then this row are still in the sequence of... Oh my
She did
gosh.
this little twisted rib column right here to trick you. Like that one's not
That's-
the decrease. This one is. I stared at it for like 10 minutes this morning.
I feel like lace knitter fail.
The only way I'm ahead of you on this one. One skein is plenty. It takes 260 yards. Really nice tall cowl. Ooh, I like this where they did a little
Oh,
contrast
that's
color
pretty.
for the ribbing.
Look at that. Semi-solid. That's pretty. So much
Very fun
depth.
pattern. I can see you doing this one now just because you're like, well, now
I
have to
know,
do it
right?
Just to see, like, is that really how that works? Is
Yeah,
it really?
it is, but oh my goodness.
I mean, sometimes we think we know how a pattern works, and then we start it, and it's like, oh.
I've been known to buy a pattern just so I can figure out how they did the stitch.
Shelly, I would say with a wine-colored jacket, do you mean like a deep, like kind of burgundy color, like that? Because really, I mean, I would actually do the more pearlescent one because it has that little bit of pinkish tone to it. 1011. If it's kind of that kind of color. Because I think the creamy cream is
It's too stark.
too warm for that color. Like, I think it calls too much attention away from your beautiful jacket. You want them to complement, not fight.
Yeah.
I love that I'm using a slushy mix as my color.
Whatever works.
Like whatever's handy that's that color. But so I would say 1011 to go with like a burgundy wine color.
Oh, she's moving them away.
Because I have something else that we got more of that are adorable
Okay.
and cuteness.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll wait till you're ready.
Okay, so I just have to get them
We'll look at
open.
the scarf again.
I guess I should have left you a skein of yarn while I
Mm.
should
we
have
have 'em-
opened these is what I should have done.
We have a made-up skein of yarn to look at. Or we can look at our caramels.
Which cream was with the Valentine set again? That was 1003, which is the undyed color.
There's a few of these little
I know,
things
they're
to
so
open. It's taking her a minute.
Okay,
Ah, they're so cute. You ready?
yes.
Dun dun dun.
These are the Lantern Moon tape measures, which, I mean, we were so happy that we could get those back in stock again when a Lantern Moon came back, because it's like, they're adorable, and we're running out of ours because we've had them for
Very long
15
time.
years. But you pull their little tail for the sheep to get your tape measure, which has inches on one side and centimeters on the other. And then you just squeeze their little middle to retract the tape measure. We have them in black, the charcoal gray, and the white. And they really are very woolly feeling. It's a very like minky kind of fabric that they've used. Then there's the adorable crochet sock monkey. You can really tell that he's actually crocheted, and there's like stuffing in the nose to fill that out. He's got his little hat with the pom-pom. And then same, you pull the little tab and then squeeze the middle to retract your tape measure. These are, I believe, 60-inch tape measures. Yep, 60 inches or 150 centimeters. They come in these little cloth bags, so you can use that to kind of help keep them clean rolling around in your knitting bag. Or you can use these for something else. I find they make really great little gift bags.
That's what I was just thinking.
And then also, these are my favorite. We have the wonderful new Lantern Moon stitch markers, which are like little tiny tassels. You get 2 of each color. Of course, they don't want to be in order. There we go. So you get 2 black, 2 blue, 2 lime green, 2 burgundy, and 2 silver. And they have, I don't know how easy it is to see on the camera, but they have this little like braided wire cable that is actually the stitch marker loop. So it's very, very thin. It's really good for projects where like really fine weight, or if you're doing anything where it's prone to laddering where the stitch marker is, because this is so thin, it's not going to distort the stitches next to the marker at all.
And if your yarn over jumps ship, hold the cardboard. If your yarn over jump ship, you can just kind of wiggle your marker around and that'll pop the yarn over back where it goes.
Yeah, I love dangly markers for lace knitting because they help keep the yarn over from really getting away from you and then making you think that your pattern is off when really your marker just wandered off. Okay. So those are our fabulous little Lantern Moon items. You want the
and one, I just want a pet. Yeah, I do like the gray one. It used to be if you would order like a baker's dozen, you would get 1 black one in the whole shipment. And we would not fight over it, but it was the one that would go first.
What's funny is we only have 1 black one left in the drawer. All the others have not made it. So the black one is clearly the one that we've used the least to make sure that it doesn't
It stays. Because if you have little kids, they grab that tape measure and they start pulling, and then they break it, and you're like,
oh. And they pull and they squish, and then they run around the house with it like a kite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for upcoming classes, on Tuesday, October 11th, we have the Feather Pumpkin class. This one's for the crocheters. You can make your own little crochet pumpkin patch. We'll teach you how to do the magic ring. We'll teach you how to do this really cool new textural stitch. I don't know how new it is. I'd never seen it before. How to close up the top after you stuff it. So at this point I decided let's just not stuff this one, and then we can show that in class. That gives Danielle more materials to work with for her class samples. Uses bulky weight yarn double-stranded or super bulky if you would prefer not to double strand. There's some really fun Rasta ones being done. I can tell by what yarns people are buying when they sign up for the class. I'm like, there's going to be some awesome Rasta pumpkins. Then coming up next week on Friday, October 14th, we have the Twisted Headband class to knit or crochet. This one we have 2 suggested patterns for it, 1 knit, 1 crochet, that you actually make the rectangle for your headband before class, and then we're going to teach you how to seam it to make this really cool knot. It is the coolest technique. I've helped a couple people with them in my classes before, and we thought this will be a good class because how they tell you to fold everything in the pattern is like origami, and if you don't quite understand how to do it, you're like, what? So we're going to teach you how to do it so you don't have to try to decipher the instructions. Then on Saturdays, starting on October 15th, then the 29th and November 5th, we have the February Lady Sweater class. This one is a worsted weight top-down raglan sweater done in one piece. We're going to teach you the garter stitch with the shaping and the buttonholes in the first class, then divide per sleeves and start the lace body in the second class. And then in the third class, we'll teach you to pick the sleeves back up and you'll be off to the races. And no, you don't have to finish the entire body of the sweater in time to start the sleeve. If you have 2 inches off the body, that's plenty of wiggle room. And your sweater will feel so much faster if you do the sleeves first.
For sure.
I am terrible at following my own advice, but it really is faster and a lot less awkward to do the sleeves because there's not as much fabric hanging off of them. I really should follow my own advice. Then on Tuesday, October 18th, we have the Crochet Wonderland shawl. This one is done with 860 yards of fingering weight yarn. Really fun. You have just a little bit of pre-work of chaining 103 stitches because we're going to dive right into the 6-row repeat of how to do the varying height stitches and how to do the eyelets and this little sawtooth edge that gives it that short row look. You can use a self-striping, you can use 8 different colors like I did. As long as you have the yardage, it really doesn't matter. Then on Friday, October 21st, we'll be doing the hand knitting class for the Felicitations convertible wrap. This is the one that Danielle did for her son's wedding. It's got this beautiful tuck stitch pattern that looks like little kind of bow ties on this side. It creates, let's see if I can bring this around. If you use a self-striping like we did with the cashmere ombre, it creates these little bubbles on the right side. And so for ours, we used 1 cashmere ombre and 2 skeins of beaded silken sequins. You could do 2 skeins of merino cloud and 2 beaded silken sequins. If you don't want beaded silken sequins at all, you could do 3 merino cloud. I don't understand why you wouldn't want glitter everything, but you know, here we are. And then we'll also have a machine knitting class for that one on Saturday, October 25th. So if you have a knitting machine and want to learn to do tuck stitches, this is a perfect class. Then on Saturday, October 22nd, we have the gooseberry hat. This one is done with 3 colors of bulky weight yarn. It is done with a double brim, so you cast on, knit 30 rounds for your pre-work. Then in class we'll teach you to do the little 1x1 Fair Isle pattern, as well as how to fold up the brim and close it up so that it is like all the tails for that part are hidden inside. It's double thick for that layer of the hat. And then at that point you just knit, 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 decrease, attach a palm. Then last but not least, on Friday, October 28th, we have the Saint Chapelle hat. This one is for the peeps who want to learn their color work skills. It has a corrugated rib where you're doing Fair Isle wall doing knit 2. And then this really beautiful stained glass technique. So for your pre-work, you just have to cast on with color A. That's it. Cast on. Have all your markers and doodads ready for class. 2 colors of worsted weight yarn on that one, and you're good to go. Okay, so what are we wearing? I am wearing my Belle Epoque shawl. There's discussions of how to correctly pronounce that. But it is a crochet shawl by Kira K Designs. I'm stuck. Oh, I'm really stuck. There we go. No. There. There's one little tiny barb on the microphone and it caught a loop. So this is a triangle shawl that you start at the middle top and increase out. then do this beautiful lace pattern at the edge. I had used a different yarn for the edge that was a little lighter weight. But the rest of the shawl is all merino cloud, which means you can use a sport weight yarn with it. It calls for fingering weight, but merino cloud is a sport weight, which means you could also use Moonshine Fine. And if my keyboard will cooperate, there's the link for you guys. If you guys want to do really well written crochet shawls, I highly recommend Kara K Designs. Her patterns are amazing. She used to do these really great hard copy leaflets. Hold on, that's the...
You've done this one, Chris? It is very pretty. We can show you what I have, even though I'm not wearing it because I get too hot and I can't put it on when I'm doing the camera. Which way is right side up? Here we go. This is black to the fuchsia, and we will put it in the collective if Anna doesn't get it here. So it starts in this little tippy bit, and then you add this color and more black, and then, so this one was an ombre, so this is another color. You could totally do this in Moonshine Fine. You could do it in Merino Cloud. Maybe a 7 series for the teal, and then whatever color you want for the black. It's a nice little boomerang shawl by Casapinka. She's got such great slip stitch texture. And then we go into some garter stitch with just little accent lines of black, so it kind of switches your main color halfway through with a cute little picot bind off. If you have not done picots, they're a bit tedious, but so worth the effort. Your bind off takes a while longer, but definitely worth it. Black to the Fuchsia by Casapinka. I know there were some comments. I only have a tiny window to see. Kathy, what color is that yarn? Which yarn? Which shawl? Anna's are red shades of Merino Cloud. Mine, black, and mine was a mini skein pack originally, but you could totally do it in leftovers. Oh, the mini skeins we did yesterday. Let's go look at those real quick if you guys want to do mini skeins. I did use a gradient, Kate, but you could create your own gradient with the mini skein kits. And I had to step outside and talk to the glass car repair people. Here's a peek at the Merino Cloud wall, because oh my gosh, wouldn't it be so pretty? I love 7 Natique. Lots of beaded silk and sequins. So many pretty colors you could do. Oh, she moved. You could use one of the Merino Cloud fade packs as well. I'm going to see what time it is because I might need to sign off without Anna. What are you, clock? 10:49. All right, I know it's kind of weird that Anna is not here with us, but we are going to sign off so we can pull your orders and open up the boutique. And everybody have a great day, and we will see you all tomorrow. Bye.